Hello all you beautiful people. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to do I call it paint with me, but it's my first try out with ohuhu markers, and it's safe to say I was very impressed. I'll be talking a little bit about the markers today, but I was planning to talk more about why I do art and my art therapy journey. So before we dive in, the footage has been sped up here. I am a very slow colourer, so I had to speed it up, otherwise you'd be here for hours. So I think this is about 2 times speed, and I don't do my sketches on screen because I get a bit of art anxiety, and if I'm drawing but there's a camera there, I just can't draw, and drawing is not my strong suit anyway. It's something I'm practicing. So yeah, sketch is done off screen and this footage is sped up slightly. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was why I even started drawing again. So I've got into art later in life. I always loved art as a kid, but I think most kids do. And then, like most people, I sort of stopped as I grew up, which is a shame. I wish I had carried on, but life got in the way. I think part of you thinks that art is for kids, or I did anyway. So I loved art until I was about 15, 16, and then I stopped for about 10 years. And now I am starting again, and feels like I'm starting from scratch. And sometimes I do get annoyed at my lack of skills, but it's something that I know will come in time, and I think art is definitely one of those, you do it for the journey rather than the end result, and I need to stop focusing on the end result. So I was thinking about why I even started art, and it definitely is some sort of therapy release for me. I don't have any anxiety or depression, anything diagnosed, but I do get very stressed and very anxious, and in my own head, overthinking. I can overthink the smallest thing. If someone says hi in a tone that is slightly off the normal tone, I can go on a whirlwind of what that could possibly mean. So art is now a way for me to quiet my mind, and it's almost like I don't feel anything when I'm doing art, but in the best way possible. My mind is just quiet. I'm just focusing on the art. It's like some form of meditation. And then at the end of it, if it's gone well, or I think it's gone well, and I'm happy with the end result, there's also a little serotonin boost. And I think to some it might sound odd that I don't feel anything when I do art, but I think when your mind is so busy, just because of life, I think many people can resonate that life is busy. There is so much going on. You've got your job, your 9 to 5, you've got maybe a partner, friendships, relationships that you need to keep ongoing. You've got your physical health, you've got your mental health. You know, if you've got your own place, or even you've used dated parents, you still have to clean and look after yourself. And then if you've got pets or kids, you've got them to look after. There's a lot going on, and I think most people, or me anyway, mind is going at full speed all the time, worrying about everything that could possibly go wrong and what I've got to do. So when I sit to do art and that just stops, and I don't think apart from where I'm going to put this colour, it's that feeling of the weight off your shoulder, and it's not something I would have experienced often in my adult life. So it's so nice that I now have this release that I know I can go into, and I can just chill for an hour. Obviously you have to have the hour to chill for, but I suppose you have to make the time. I would usually watch TV or scroll through TikTok, whereas now if I just say no, I'm going to do some sketching or some colouring, I know it will calm me, and I might not feel an immediate benefit, but I will later on in the day. I also watch a lot of paint with me's. I find them really relaxing as well. I love seeing people's process, and it gives me inspiration to carry on and try and get better. Not only just at my art, but at my YouTube video uploads. I also think seeing other people's process and the steps they go through, it reinforces the idea that your art doesn't need to be beautiful all the time. I've heard about the ugly phase, but I think when it's your art going through the ugly phase, it's hard. But seeing these amazing artists whose artwork also goes through the ugly phase and then comes out to be this beautiful illustration, it gives me the encouragement to carry on when I think my art is looking awful, and that, you know, if I just stick with it, I can fix it and hopefully something beautiful happens at the end. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, and that's why I have to not get too attached to the end result and just stay for the journey. And then that can lead on to my next point of why I even started a YouTube channel. I have no sort of notable social media presence anywhere, and I was under no illusion that I was going to blow up and become a YouTube star. I'm happy if I get 10 views on a video, to be honest, but it was a way of documenting my process and also actually sticking with something. So I am one of those people that loves to try new things, but then gets bored and wants to move on to the next. The amount of hobbies I have gone through is shocking. Even me and my partner will joke of what's my hobby for this month. But art has been more of a constant. The hobbies have always been creative in some way. So there's been art, sewing, cross stitch, needle felting, crochet, clay earring making. There's been a lot, but it's always been creative. And art's the one that has sort of, it's always been my go-to. When I've got bored of something but I don't know what else to do, I'll always go back to art. It might be a different medium, but it's still art. It's still drawing, colouring, painting. It's just a different medium than I've tried in the past, which is maybe a blessing and a curse. It means I try a lot of things, but never actually get good or to the level that I would like to be at those things. So that's another thing I want to work on, is just to stick with something for once. I hope my therapy ramblings haven't put you off. I will now go into a bit more description about the markers, the art that I'm doing, why I did it, if I enjoyed the markers or not. So first off, I decided to draw like a warrior girl, mainly because I was feeling a bit down actually, and I thought, if I'm feeling down, why not draw this powerful girl, woman character that will inspire me to, you know, get out of my funk and do something. I think I must have been inspired by Sailor Moon or something. Like, this hairstyle I know I've seen somewhere. This, even though it was like my own character, I've definitely seen this somewhere. It's not unique. I really like it. I like this hairstyle, but I've definitely feel like I've copied it from somewhere. And the pose is just a reference of these two fighters I saw on Pinterest. They didn't have swords, but I thought if I'm doing like a warrior girl, I want her to have swords. I feel like there's a slight anime vibe going on here as well, which I didn't mean to do, but I'm also not angry about it. I am quite the anime fan, so I am more than happy to have that show through in my art. And if anyone else is an anime fan, I think my next couple videos will probably be fan art of Castlevania and Demon Slayer, as they are my current new obsessions. Okay, so actually onto the markers. This was my first time with ohuhu markers. I have used alcohol markers before, but the other set I had were these very, very cheap set that I got from Amazon. I think it worked out to be about 10p a marker, and to be fair, I thought they were decent. I had nothing to compare them against, but now using ohuhu, there is a huge difference. I always wondered how other people I saw using alcohol markers got smooth blends and transitions, and I could never achieve that. And I was watching these videos and I thought I was following the same process, but my artwork just never came out smooth. But then with using ohuhu markers, they do the work for you. They're so smooth and juicy, but not too juicy that it sort of splatters everywhere. They just blend with each other seamlessly. It's almost effortless. I also really enjoy the speed you can use alcohol markers with. It's a faster process, especially than colouring pencils, and it's easier than getting all your paints out. Although I still think paint might be my favourite medium at the moment. So coming to near the end of the artwork now, I tried to have a bit of a limited colour palette for her. So obviously the skin colour, but then all the clothing's blue and the bow and the sword handles are red, just to make it a little bit more cohesive. And then I wanted to do something for the background. I am not good at drawing backgrounds though. I don't know what to draw. I am not good at perspective, so I just needed something that I could put in the background that was interesting and made her stand out a bit, but also was doable for me. So I decided to go with this like orange background, and I wanted to keep in all the lines and brush strokes, because I thought it could give an illusion of like a fast-paced movement, and this was like the air drag behind her. That was my goal. Whether it was executed well is, well, different opinion. People will have different opinions on that. I like the effect, but it was hard for me to not go over and try and get rid of those streaks, but I wanted to leave them in so that, yeah, it looked like she was almost exploding out from somewhere. And this is all I really do off screen. I'll usually add in some pencil shading and maybe some line work. But I'm really happy with how she turned out, actually. I'm new to drawing characters, I'm new to ohuhu alcohol markers, and yeah, for a first try, I was very happy with this. And I've decided that I'm going to be nice about my artwork and not insult it all the time, so this is me being nice. I am happy with this. I think she turned out cute, I think the art's nice. I can see her as some warrior in an anime, and I like that. And yeah, it's inspired me to draw more anime. But yeah, overall, I get the hype with ohuhu markers, I really do. Comparing them to my cheap ones, they're just so much better, but they are still affordable, like the Copic markers that I know some people have, and they're like artist grade. I don't think I'll ever be able to justify spending that on a marker, especially when this isn't my job, it's purely a hobby. Whereas the ohuhu ones are more affordable, and the quality to me is brilliant. Obviously I've not used Copic, I can't compare against that, but I'm very happy with these. They blend, they just do it for you. It's a really satisfying product. But that is pretty much it from me today. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, please give me a like, a comment. It means so much to me. If you didn't, please tell me why. I am trying to get better at this. But apart from that, have a brilliant day, night, weekend, whenever you are watching this. And I hope that this has given you some form of enjoyment. Thank you.